Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
All right, so today let's unpack SEO, search
Okay.
engine optimization.
Yeah.
I know. It can feel like everyone is throwing around jargon,
Right.
but trust me, this is the stuff that can make or break your website's success.
Absolutely.
Okay, imagine this. You've poured your heart and soul into building an incredible online space,
Yeah.
but it's like you're hidden in a forest of websites.
Right.
That's where SEO comes in. It's
Yeah.
like sending up a signal flare to get noticed.
Exactly. And what's so crucial to understand is that SEO isn't just one magic trick.
Okay.
It's a whole strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of what you do on your website and how you interact with the wider online world.
That makes sense. It's like having a great product, but you also need to let people know it exists
Yeah.
and why they should be excited about it. So for today's deep dive, we're using this super sharp article from 95 Visual.
Okay.
They're a digital marketing agency,
Mm-hmm.
and it really breaks down the two major sides of SEO, on-site and off-site.
Yeah. And they nail it right off the bat.
Okay.
Both on-site and off-site SEO are absolutely essential.
Oh, okay.
It's like baking a cake. You need the right ingredients and the right oven temperature to get that perfect rise.
Okay, so two crucial ingredients for SEO success.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty,
Sure.
let's take a step back and really define what we mean by SEO.
Okay.
The 95 Visual article calls it making your website easily discoverable by search engines.
Right.
Sounds simple enough.
It sounds simple, but there's a real art to it.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Search engines are like these incredibly efficient librarians.
Mhm.
They scan through mountains of information,
Yeah.
trying to match the right content to the right people.
Right.
And your job is to make your website stand out in that sea of information.
So it's about speaking the search engine's language.
Precisely.
Uh-huh.
And that's where on-site and off-site SEO come into play.
Okay.
On-site is all about optimizing your website itself.
Okay.
The content, the structure, the technical bits and pieces
Mm-hmm.
to make it clear, concise, and easy for search engines to understand.
Like organizing your bookshelves so the librarian can easily find what they're looking for.
Perfect analogy.
Okay.
Now, offsite SEO is a bit more like building your website's reputation out there in the real world.
So it's less about what's happening on your website and more about how the rest of the internet sees you. Exactly. It's about building trust and authority in the eyes of search engines by getting other reputable websites to link back to you,
Okay.
generating buzz on social media,
Yeah.
and establishing yourself as a thought leader in your field.
Okay.
Think of it like getting rave reviews from book critics.
Right.
The more positive attention you have, the more likely people are to pick up your book.
Right. Word of mouth is huge, even in the digital age.
It is.
So as we're thinking about building that online reputation, where do we even begin?
Well,
The 95 Visual article seems to emphasize the importance of links,
yeah.
but I've always found that whole aspect of SEO a bit mysterious.
It can definitely seem like a bit of a black box, but understanding how links work is crucial for off-site SEO success.
Okay.
And you're right, the 95 Visual article makes a key distinction between different types of links.
Not all links are created equal.
That makes sense. A shout-out from a well-respected industry blog probably holds more weight than a random comment on a forum somewhere.
Exactly. Think of it like this.
Yeah.
A recommendation from a trusted friend or colleague carries a lot more weight than a random advertisement.
Totally.
Yeah.
So how do we get those trusted friend links?
Well, the 95 Visual article highlights a few key strategies,
Okay.
and one that often gets overlooked is the power of simply asking.
Okay.
If you've collaborated with other businesses,
Mm-hmm.
been featured in any publications,
Yeah.
or even have guest bloggers on your own site,
Right.
reach out and see if they'll link back to you.
It's all about building those mutually beneficial relationships.
Exactly.
I like it. What else do they suggest?
They also touch on press releases, which can be a powerful tool for attracting attention from journalists and bloggers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have some exciting news to share,
Okay.
a new product, launch a major company milestone,
Right.
or even just a really interesting piece of content,
Yeah.
crafting a compelling press release
Okay.
And getting it in front of the right people
Right.
can result in valuable backlinks from reputable news sources.
Okay, so press releases are about getting the word out in a way that grabs attention.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But I have to admit, I often feel like social media is a bit of a black hole when it comes to SEO.
Right.
I mean, I know it's important to be present and engage with my audience,
Yeah.
but does it really move the needle on search rankings?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something the 95 visual article actually addresses directly. They cite a study by Ahrefs that found SEO drives over 1,000% more traffic than organic social media.
Whoa, over 1,000%.
It is.
That's a lot.
And it highlights an important point.
Okay.
While social media is fantastic for building brand awareness, fostering a sense of community,
Yeah.
and even driving traffic directly to your site,
Right.
it's not necessarily a direct substitute for a strong SEO strategy.
Sure.
Think of it this way.
Yeah.
Social media is like having a lively conversation at a party, while SEO is like having your name engraved on the guest list.
Right.
Both are valuable,
Okay.
but they serve different purposes.
Okay, I'm starting to see the distinction. So if I'm putting my energy into offsite SEO, should I focus more on building those high-quality links and not worry so much about social media?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's all about balance.
Okay.
Social media can still play a role in your SEO strategy,
Right.
especially when it comes to amplifying your content and attracting those coveted backlinks organically.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah?
sharing your blog posts,
Right.
articles, or videos on social media
Right.
can increase their visibility and make it more likely that other websites will link to them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like creating a buzz around your content so that those trusted friends are more likely to take notice and spread the word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another powerful offsite SEO strategy,
Okay.
guest posting.
Guest posting.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard about that. But how does guest posting actually help with SEO?
Well, first, it allows you to reach a new audience that might not have discovered your website otherwise.
Okay.
Second, if the website you're guest posting on is relevant and authoritative, a link back to your site from their content can do wonders for your backlink profile.
Okay, so it's about strategically placing those trusted friend links on websites that are already well respected in my field.
Exactly.
It's like getting a glowing recommendation from someone your target audience already knows and trusts.
You got it.
Right.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the other side of the coin,
Okay.
on-site SEO.
On-site SEO.
This is where you have more direct control,
Okay.
as it's all about optimizing what's happening within the walls of your own website.
All right, so we've prepped the guest list, created a buzz, and now it's time to make sure the party itself is one to remember.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, I like it.
And you're right, with on-site SEO, you're essentially rolling out the red carpet for search engines, making it crystal clear what your website is about and why it's valuable.
So where do we even begin with on-site SEO?
Yeah.
What are the key elements we need to focus on?
One of the most fundamental aspects,
Okay.
and the one that the 95 Visual article dives into first, is optimizing your website's title tags and meta descriptions.
Right. Those are the snippets of text that appear in search results, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they're like the first impression your website makes on potential visitors.
Right.
You have a very limited number of characters to grab their attention and convince them to click through to your site.
So it's all about making those titles and descriptions super compelling.
Yeah.
But within a certain character limit.
Yes.
What's the magic number I can never seem to remember?
The 95 Visual article gives some great guidelines for this. They mentioned Google typically displays the first 50-60 characters of a title tag
Okay.
and the first 150-160 characters of a meta description.
Okay.
So it's important to be concise and front-load those elements with the most important keywords and phrases.
Oh, right. Keywords. It's all coming back to me now. But it's not just about cramming in as many keywords as possible, right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
In the past, keyword stuffing was a common tactic,
Right?
but search engines have gotten much smarter.
Yeah.
Today, it's much more important to use keywords naturally and strategically
Okay.
in a way that actually enhances the readability and value of your content.
So it's about writing for humans first and search engines second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Google and other search engines have become incredibly sophisticated at understanding the intent behind searches and the context of the content on your pages. They're looking for websites that provide valuable, informative, and engaging content that truly answers the questions searchers are asking.
Okay, so quality content is key.
Yes.
What else should we be thinking about when it comes to on-site SEO?
One other crucial aspect is optimizing your website's images.
Images. Really, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know visuals are important for engaging visitors,
sure.
but how do they factor into SEO?
It's all about something called alt text,
Alt text.
which stands for alternative text.
Okay, so what is alt text and why is it so important?
Basically, alt text is a short description that you add to the HTML code of an image.
Okay.
It tells search engines what the image is about,
Okay.
which helps them understand the context of your content and index your images properly.
Okay.
But it's not just about SEO. Alt text is also incredibly important for accessibility.
Accessibility. I think I read something about that on 95 Visual as well, but go on.
Yeah.
How does alt text relate to website accessibility?
It provides a text alternative for users who are visually impaired
Okay.
and may be using screen readers to access your content.
Right.
So instead of just seeing a blank space where the image should be, they'll hear a description of what the image is,
Okay.
making your website more inclusive and accessible to everyone.
Wow, I have to admit, I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about how interconnected all of this is.
I feel
It's
so
not
bad.
just about ticking boxes for search engines.
Right.
It's about creating a better experience for every single visitor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's what makes SEO so fascinating and rewarding.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the technical aspects, yes, but it's also about understanding your audience,
Right.
crafting compelling content,
Okay.
and creating a website that's both informative and engaging.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture,
Right.
not just the individual pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And another important piece of that puzzle
Yeah.
when it comes to on-site SEO is the way you structure your content using headings and subheadings.
Right.
You know those H1, H2, H3 tags you see in your website editor?
I'll confess, I sometimes use those just to make the text look nice on the page.
Chuckles softly.
It's that bad.
It's a common misconception.
Okay.
They do serve an aesthetic purpose,
Right.
but they play a crucial role in how search engines understand and organize the information on your page. Think of them like the chapter titles and subheadings in a book.
Yeah.
They give your content a clear hierarchy and make it easier for both search engines and human readers to scan and digest.
So instead of just going with what looks pretty, I should be thinking about those headings as signposts that guide both readers and search engines through my content.
Precisely.
Okay.
And along those same lines, internal linking is another often overlooked aspect of on-site SEO that can make a big difference.
Internal linking. That's where I link to other relevant pages within my own website, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's like creating a web of interconnected
Yeah.
content that not only keeps visitors engaged in exploring your site,
Yeah.
but also helps search engines understand the relationship between different pages and the overall structure of your site.
So instead of having all these separate pages floating around in isolation,
Yeah.
I should be strategically linking them together to create a more cohesive and user-friendly experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of a user-friendly experience, have you ever stumbled upon a website that felt like it hadn't been updated since the dawn of the internet?
Oh, all the time?
Yeah.
You know, dusty old designs, broken links, content that feels completely out of touch.
Right.
It makes me wonder why they even bother having a website in the first place.
It's like walking into a store that's dark, dusty, and hasn't changed its inventory in decades.
Okay,
You wouldn't expect to find anything of value there, would you?
definitely not.
And I'm guessing search engines feel the same way about outdated websites.
Absolutely.
Search engines crave fresh, relevant content. Regularly updating your website with new blog posts, articles, images, videos, or even just refreshing existing content shows search engines that your site is active, engaged, and providing value to visitors.
Okay, so don't let your website gather dust.
Right.
Keep it fresh, keep relevant, keep it updated.
Got it.
Got it. We've covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah.
From optimizing titles and images to the power of internal linking and fresh content.
Right.
But before we wrap up this deep dive into on-site SEO,
Sure.
is there anything else we should be thinking about?
Yeah.
Anything that might trip us up, even if we've done everything else right?
That's a great question.
Okay.
And it brings us to a crucial aspect of on-site SEO that often gets overlooked.
Oh,
Indexability.
indexability.
That sounds a bit intimidating. What exactly is it? Essentially, indexability refers to whether or not search engines can easily find, crawl, and index your website's pages.
Right.
You could have the most beautifully designed, content-rich website in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but if search engines can't properly crawl and index it,
Yeah.
it's as good as invisible.
So it's like having an incredible party, but forgetting to send out the invitations.
Chuckle softly.
A perfect analogy.
And thankfully, the 95 visual article mentions a fantastic tool that can help you ensure your website is properly indexed.
Okay.
Google Search Console.
Okay.
It's a free tool that provides valuable insights into how Google views your website,
Right.
including any crawl errors, indexing issues, or other technical factors that might be holding you back.
Wow, Google Search Console sounds like an invaluable resource for anyone serious about their website's SEO.
It is.
I'm definitely adding that to my to-do list.
Yeah,
This deep dive has been eye-opening.
it has.
We've gone from feeling a bit lost in the woods to having a clear roadmap for improving our website's visibility.
That's great.
I'm glad to hear that.
And remember, SEO is an ongoing journey,
Right.
not a destination.
Right.
Search engines are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So staying ahead of the curve requires staying informed, adapting your strategies, and never being afraid to experiment.
That's such an important point.
It is.
It's not about finding some magic formula and then just coasting along.
Right.
It's about staying curious, staying engaged, and always looking for ways to improve.
Exactly.
Okay.
And one of the most valuable things you can do
Yeah.
is to simply pay attention to what's working and what's not.
Right.
Keep an eye on your website's traffic,
Yeah.
your search engine rankings,
Right.
and the engagement you're getting from your content.
Yeah.
The data will tell you a lot about what resonates with your audience
Right.
and what adjustments you might need to make.
Data-driven decisions.
It's the best way to go.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel incredibly empowered after this deep dive.
Me too.
We've explored the ins and outs of both on-site and off-site SEO,
That's true.
uncovered some hidden gems of knowledge,
We did.
and walked away with a clear understanding of how to make our websites shine online.
Yes, we did.
It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you.
It has.
And remember, the most important thing is to approach SEO with a spirit of curiosity,
Yeah.
a willingness to learn, and a genuine desire to create a valuable and engaging experience for your audience.
It really does make all the difference.
Do that and the rest will fall into place.
It will.
Wise words to end on.
Thank you.
A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their incredible insights with us today.
You're welcome.
And to you, our listeners, for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of SEO.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the ever-evolving world of digital marketing.
That sounds great.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.